Insurance. This is Tony Cañas, Chief Motivational Officer at Insurance Nerds and PNC Client Advisor at the Jacobson Group. And today I'm recording from my home base here in Columbus, Ohio. It is Sunday in November, middle of November, and this one won't go live probably till December or so. But I wanted to get ahead a little bit. I'm about to go on vacation. Anyway, I want to talk to you again about remote work. My original video on remote work, which I'll link somewhere here, was hugely successful and started a great conversation kind of all over LinkedIn. It's had almost 10,000 views, and I truly believe this is going to be a huge deal for our beloved insurance ecosystem. So I've been thinking about this for a while, and I think that companies will reach success in the remote work revolution through stages. And this is not based on empirical research. This is Tony's hypothesis of how this will go. And it will evolve over time. I just wanted to kind of share my framework in mind of how companies reach full friendliness when it comes to remote work, which I believe will be a major competitive advantage. And some level of it will be necessary for survival. Okay, so there's pre-stages, right? The pre-stage is nobody works from home ever, period. Work is a place, not a thing. Work is when you are in the office, and that is it. If you're not in the office, even if you have a laptop, you're not working. That perspective is like negative stage. But where things germinate from, stage 0 is you can work from home on special days with special permission. And I think pretty much every insurance carrier and agency is here for some jobs, maybe not for all jobs, but almost everybody is here or better at the point where an employee is allowed, at least some employees in some roles are allowed to work from home from their laptop on special days with special occasions and with special permission. And what that means is, hey, I have a plumber coming to fix something. I would rather not take the whole day off. I'd rather be productive. Can I work from home next Thursday and maybe be offline for half an hour while the plumber does his thing or her thing? So I think most carriers, we have the technology to do it. And I think even a lot of agencies have technology to do it and will allow it for most employees, especially if they're salary. So I think that's stage 0. That kind of sets the stage for everything else. Then there's stage 1, which is one work from home day a week for most employees, or for a significant amount of employees. So I was at Liberty when this stage was going on, where just about everybody had one work from home day a week. And I will always remember my manager at the Liberty. I was a middle market underwriter, and my manager, Dan Patterline, who had been there for 20 some years, a fantastic underwriting leader, fantastic manager, a fantastic person in general. I remember him saying that when Liberty first rolled out one work from home day a week, he was really paranoid about the people that chose Friday or Monday. And he was really, because most people wanted Friday or Monday, of course. So he was really worried about having coverage, quote unquote. And that after a year or two, he realized that work from home is work from home and that people are still productive. And he stopped worrying about how many people were in the office on any specific day. And if everybody wanted Friday, everybody could have Friday, whatever. So that's stage 1, is one work from home day a week for most employees. In a lot of companies, this will naturally grow to 2, and that's the Liberty case. Liberty grew 2 just after I left. Growing beyond 2 takes work, because there's a significant difference between 2 work from home days a week and 3 or 4. Okay, so from there, stage 2 is retaining a proven, trusted employee as a special exception. And I called this one my girlfriend at a very large broker, worked out of the Atlanta office. The reality was she was working from home a good part of the time. So when she called her boss, who's a fantastic leader, and said, hey, I want to move back to Ohio where I'm from. I would really love to stay with Gallagher. Can I work from home in Ohio? And he immediately said yes. Now, in most companies, this wouldn't be an immediately thing. It would be let's check with management, let's get permissions, let's get paperwork, blah, blah, blah. But still, in fact, and this has been going on for a significant amount of time. My boss at Jacobson, my SVP, Brad Wadley, when he moved from Atlanta to Michigan, 10 years ago or so, he called his boss, Dave, who's still with the company, and said, I'm moving to Michigan for family reasons. I think I need to put my 2-week notice. And they called back a couple days later and said, hey, why don't you stay with the company and we'll open a small office for you in Michigan. But essentially, they let him work from there. They created an office for him. So this has been going on for a long time for the right employee. So I think that what happens is, like it happened for Brad and like it happened for my girlfriend, is companies allow that in order to retain in a tough market, in order to retain proven talent. And little by little, they realize that these people continue to be just as productive or more productive than they used to be before. So they realize, hey, remote work truly, that kind of the same realization my manager at Liberty had, remote work truly is remote work, right? Work from home truly is work from home. So they really starts to open their minds. Then stage 3 is they become okay with hiring employees who are completely remote. But generally, this happens only in specific departments or only kind of in the middle levels of the company. I think that a lot of larger insurance carriers are already at stage 2, where some employees who were proven employees are now allowed to work remote because they had already proven themselves. I think what I'm seeing is very few carriers are in some point near or at stage 3, which is hiring employees who are completely remote, even at least in some functions and levels. And in this case, the Hartford, Chubb Small Commercial, and USAA deserve shout-outs because they are truly leading the way. The Hartford especially, they're truly leading the way. And they are kind of at this point where in a lot of roles, they are friendly to hiring completely remote from the beginning. Now, here's the interesting thing. Usually only for middle level roles. It's a lot harder for a company to get comfortable either with hiring remote from the very beginning at the entry levels where people need a lot of training, like the call centers, and also executive levels. It's also very hard for companies to convince themselves that it's okay for executives to work from home from the beginning. And there's some points to that. Strategic work does benefit from in-person work. Stage 3, I think the leaders in our industry when it comes to remote are at stage 3 or 3 point something. Stage 4, in my opinion, is specific investment in hiring remote, recruiting, retaining, engaging, and training managers on how to best manage remote. And the Hartford is, as far as I can see from the outside, very much leaning into stage 4. They might be at stage 3.8, where they're getting really close to stage 4. That I'm familiar with, nobody else is there. But I believe that for the Hartford, this is going to be a major strategic competitive advantage in the future, especially when it comes to hiring and recruiting. Stage 5 is any role, even entry-level roles or executive roles, can be hired remote. Coming to the office is an option, except for very special events. I don't think anybody's here in our industry. I don't think anybody, some insurtechs, but I don't think any traditional insurance companies are at the point where any role, any level, even including entry level and executive level, can be hired remote. They just hire the best person for the job, wherever that person happens to live, and coming to the office becomes a completely optional thing, except for very, very special events. So I don't think anybody's there. I think that we all have to get close to that. I'm not saying that as a matter of survival, everybody has to get to stage 5 in the next 10 years, or maybe ever. What I am saying is that as a matter of survival, everybody needs to get to stage 3 or so, or somewhere close to stage 3. And those who get beyond there, and those who get to stage 3 first will have a competitive advantage, and those who get to stage 4 and 5 will have significant competitive advantage going into the future. So anyway, that is, again, just my opinion of how the remote revolution will play out when it comes to employing and engaging employees, especially within our insurance ecosystem. Thank you very much for tuning in. Subscribe, follow me on LinkedIn, subscribe on YouTube, etc., etc. TC out.